Well, I cannot believe it's been 5 months since I started this project. This laminated rail has been sat up here ever since. The good news is, the laminations are holding it really well. The bad news is, I still need to paint this thing. My first excuse for procrastinating on this one was that it was too cold in the workshop back in January, and it was, to be fair, yeah. But now it's the middle of June and I can't really use that excuse anymore. Also, having to paint this thing, I hate painting, I can't lie about that. It's not just the mess you make. I mean, I wear overalls most times, but it's the mess, the space. But also you've got to clean your brushes as well. I can't just, it's not like using a rag, you know, you can't just wipe a rag, put it to one side, let it dry and bin it, you know. With a brush you've got to take it in the kitchen, wash it, clean it, dry it, blah blah blah. Most of the time I don't do a very good job of that and it gets all clogged up again. It's I have to bin it anyway and just buy a new one. It seems like a kind of reverse economy, waste of money, you know. But anyway, I'm back in the workshop. I'm going to sand this one this evening, get it back into shape, and hopefully tomorrow I can do some painting on this because I've got some other painting jobs to do around the house. Before I get too far into this, I have a small confession to make. At the end of the last video I showed you how I cut these notches out of the one side so it fit around the gate stops. And unfortunately I cut one notch too long, and as you can see here I've rescued that offcut from the scrap bin and I've glued it back into place. I still need to flush this one down because it's thinner than the rest of it by the bandsaw blade's curve thickness, but I also decided anyway that I'm going to reduce the overall thickness, or is that the width, this way, of this piece by a couple of millimetres each side, and I'll do that on my thicknesser first. After that I'm going to chamfer the edges top and bottom, and by then it should be ready for a good sanding and then a paint job hopefully. Okay, I just finished trimming that new shoulder back into place, and now ready to give it a good belt sanding on the outside. I was hoping to be able to sand this inside edge on my bobbin sander, but because it's buried behind all those tools over there, and that big toolbox there, I'll have to instead do this with my belt sander very carefully. I was originally going to chamfer these edges on my router table, but as the chamfer cutter is set up with my handheld router, I'll use that instead. Okay, so that's a small chamfer worked all the way around on the edges there. You might just be able to see it. I'm actually going to increase the width of the chamfer on the top edges. I'm using an old piece of chipboard here as a protective measure to keep my bench clean, and the paint I'm using is a water-based product designed for exterior use. It's not acrylic based, as you might think. The manufacturers claim it's like a stain that offers the properties and protection of a paint finish. What I like though is that it's water based, so there are no fumes to inhale, and when it comes to cleaning the product you just wash your brushes, wash your hands out with water. It's very easy to clean up. This is not one of the cheapest paints on the market, but with paints I generally find that you get what you pay for. After all that effort making this from a nice hardwood, you would never know what's underneath this paintwork without stripping it back. Some might even assume it's MDF or ply, but I know, and so do you.